Another hard-fought loss. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers now go to 5-9, losing to the Baltimore Ravens in a very cold and wet game up in Baltimore today. I thought the game overall was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. I thought that the game was probably going to feature a couple more points, maybe in the 20s, both teams getting up in the mid to high 20s, but I was wrong, and I figured the weather conditions played a role in that. Now, I lived in Baltimore for 12 years of my life, and I have a lot of friends who are Ravens fans, so I will try not to bother or offend anybody because I know they will come at my neck for talking about it. But I do have to say that I don't consider the Ravens an elite team. I do consider them a very, very tough, probably if there's an elite tier, they're probably right under maybe one or two teams out of the elite tier. I do believe though that the Ravens are a team that nobody wants to face come playoff time because they generally play very tough. And for all the criticisms of Lamar Jackson and his style of play and not being able to really throw the ball deep accurately and things like that, he has put them in position to win, and I think he's now 4-1 with them. So overall, a game in Tampa where I feel that we could have won, and it was a lot closer than I was expecting and close enough for us to win. But as usual, there are a lot of factors that play a role into us losing. So as usual, we lose again. If you are new here to this channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. Like and comment. Bucs fans, what do you think we need to do? I think officially Dirk Cutter is done. I don't see any chance, even if we win these next two games, of him coming back. I think it's a wrap. We've secured our second straight losing season after having a winning season with him the first year he was coaching, and I think it's a wrap. But let me get into the winners and losers of the game. I have to give the first winner to Lavonte David. He had a fumble recovery and is now the leading fumble recovery guy in the history of the Bucs. He just passed Rondé Barber. I don't know the number, but I think it is in the high teens. So he officially leads the Tampa Bay franchise in fumble recoveries, and he had 2 sacks, single sacks for himself, which is good to see because I feel like he hasn't had really sacks in a while. I know last week he had one, I want to say, or was it the week against the Panthers 2 weeks ago? But he did have one. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. He had one against Cam Newton. But it seems like for the last few years he has, honestly, since Greg Schiano was head coach, Greg Schiano really knew how to use Lavonte David effectively and had Lavonte getting multiple sacks and picks and fumble recoveries and things like that. So it was good to kind of see him get back in his rhythm. And definitely he's a player that we kind of forgot about this year with the defensive struggles, but he has shown to be consistent and definitely a baller as always. The second winner of the game, I have to give it to Peyton Barber. 19 carries, 85 yards. He had about 4.5 yards a carry and a touchdown. I honestly feel without him, we would have gotten destroyed in this game. He was able to set the tempo for us, control the clock just a little bit. As you know, the Ravens controlled the clock for like a million minutes. So, you know, we did as much as we could, but he was able to control the clock and set the pace for us in the first half and get us chunks of yardage. There was a point where he was getting like 6-7 yards a carry in the first half. So definitely a solid performance by him. I definitely think next year we do need to keep him, and I think we'd need a new running back, whether through draft or signing a free agent or something. But he has shown really to be a very reliable and hard working running back. He runs very tough. He doesn't go down easily. It seems he always falls forward, which is good because he always picks up that 1 or 2 extra yards. Another winner of the game, he's been a winner multiple times on my videos, Mike Evans. 4 catches for 121 yards. It seems they're always like quiet 100-yard games. Like it's like 3 or 4 catches. You don't really see him all game. He just has a couple moments, but then you look, it's like, wow, 120 yards. It seems like he always does that where it's like he'll get a couple catches during the game. You're like, wow, he's not, you know, he's not a factor at all. And then after the game, you see like, oh, he had 130 yards. So definitely another solid performance by him. I know he had a couple of drops during the game, but he did have that deep ball where Jameis scrambled out and he kind of caught that deep ball. I think it was a 64-yarder, which was Jameis's longest pass of the year. He caught that, and I think there was 1 or 2 defenders on him. There was a couple tough catches he made as well. So Mike Evans, very solid. I think he's very, very close to breaking the Bucs franchise record for most receiving yards. Honestly, if I'm guessing, I think he's under 200 yards away. So he just needs like 1 more solid game and an average game, and I think he breaks the record. Now going into the losers of the game. The first loser of the game, same as last week, special teams. They didn't really do anything really significant that cost us the game, but that fumbled snap thing and interaction exchange during that extra point in the first half could have proved very costly had we gone down and scored in the second half, because again, that missed extra point put us back by 1, so we would have had to eventually chase points. But again, not a good look for the special teams. We need to kind of blow up that unit and figure out what to do next year. We need a new field goal kicker, even though Santos has been mostly reliable, but we need someone that's solid. Like, you see Justin Tucker, he's making it from everywhere. Like, he's missed what, like 1 kick in the last 1,000,000 attempts. Like, we need someone like that who we know 1000% is going to make a kick and we never have to worry about it. The second loser of the game is the rush defense. We gave up over 240 yards of rushing, almost 100, like right at 100 for Lamar Jackson and over 100 for Gus Edwards. And the other dude, I forgot his name, number 30, Dixon, I think is his name. He had like 48, 50 yards as well, I think. So again, I mean, the Ravens are a very strong rushing team. During the game, they said they were the first team since the 70s Steelers to have 5 straight games of 190 yards rushing. That is their forte. They control the clock and really nobody knows how to stop it because of the option, things like that. Our pass defense played pretty well. I feel there was opportunities in the first half to get a couple picks on Lamar Jackson, but in the second half, the Ravens adjusted and were able to get down the field. We really couldn't stop them, I think, outside of one drive where we held them to 3 and out in the fourth quarter. Other than that, I feel like they were gaining chunks of yards regularly. The third and final loser of the game, I was gonna put Jameis Winston there because he threw just a little over 50% of his passes were completed and he had 1 interception, but I don't necessarily blame him so much for that because there were a lot of drops between Evans and Brait and Godwin, which would have inflated the numbers a little bit. That pick obviously was very bad. I mean, I'm not too bad about the decision was well if he led the ball a little bit more forward, but it was just a bad throw overall. But I didn't want to put Jameis in there because I feel it had to do with the real loser of this game. So that is Dirk Koetter as usual. Similarly to last week, we were dominating in the first half. This game we weren't necessarily dominating, but we were down 10-9. It was a very, very close game. You know, it wasn't really anything that we should have panicked about. But just like last week, the opponents go into the locker room at halftime, make adjustments, and we appear to make no adjustments at all. The Ravens came out, we were pretty much controlling their running for the most part. They weren't really able to get big chunks of yards on us and move down the field as easily. We were playing pretty well defensively, and on offense we were able to move the ball a little bit more. But in the second half, it seemed like every run of theirs was getting 6, 7, 8, 9 yards. It was absolutely ridiculous. Again, Dirk Koetter shows that he gets out-coached very consistently by a lot of other teams. Teams that we play very evenly, we get out-coached by. I don't know, he keeps getting out-coached. I don't think he's the man for this team. For example, that 4th down play we went for, it was like the most predictable pass. I didn't see any creative route running. It seemed like every player was blanketed. It just was a very bad play overall. You throw it to Chris Godwin, which he was super covered, but then you had Adam Humphries running a wheel route deep, even though he has been our most consistent and reliable player in this game. He literally caught everything that goes his way. Dirk Koetter, I don't know what's going on. I think he called plays. I can't really tell. I know when Todd Monken calls plays, we're able to put up points, but lately it seems like Dirk Cutter's the one calling the plays because every time we get near the red zone, the offense just flutters. And I hate people saying it's not the coaching, it's the players. No, it's definitely coaching plays a big part of it, because in the first half of the season with Monken there, we were scoring points in the red zone. Every time Dirk Koetter takes over, like against the Redskins, we only scored 3 points. Something's got to change. I think Dirk Cutter's out for sure, and I did read a report that the Glazers have been piquing interest in some potential candidates, and I feel like Dirk Cutter's time is done. I don't see him beating the Cowboys in Dallas. They just got shut out by the Indianapolis Colts, so I know they're going to be playing angry, trying to secure their division win. And Atlanta is tied with us now, and I think they have the tiebreaker over us, so we're back in 4th place in the division, and we play them in the final game of the season. I don't feel confident that we will be able to beat them. So Dirk Koetter, I'm sorry, you gotta go. You had a not really that great of a 3-year run with us. Just overall, just a very, very badly run team on the field, and I definitely credit that to coaching. I think the entire coaching staff goes. I don't want to see Brenson Buckner leave. He has done pretty well. He's done really amazing since Mike Smith got fired, and I think Mark Duffner has done pretty well as well. So I'd like to see them stay at some capacity, but you know, whoever the new coach is might get rid of them as well. So yeah, the Bucs played a hard-fought game against a very, very, very strong, good, tough team. We came out better than I thought we were, but I definitely feel the game was winnable. Overall, Dirk Cutter's gone. I think Jameis Winston can improve. Our receivers definitely helped cost us the game a little bit with some of their drops, and I think the defense, the pass defense especially, has definitely improved since Mike Smith has been gone, and our pass rush has been playing very solid since Mike Smith has gone. There were a couple plays where Carl Nassib blew up Lamar Jackson's potential run and throw, so definitely great performance on that part, but we definitely have to improve our rush defense. And yeah, the season's over, guys. Losing record again. Best case scenario 7-9. I think we finish best case 6-10. I don't think we win both of the next games. We potentially could lose them both, but I'm going to try to give us the benefit of the doubt and say we win one, and if we do, it'll probably be against Atlanta in the final game of the season. Thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, if you are new here, click subscribe, like, and comment. Buck Nation, who would you want to see as a potential head coach next year? And what changes do you feel we need to make on the team? Do you feel we need to focus more on the defensive side or offensive side? But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And again, until next time, I am out.
Our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucs, go Bucs.